I came to India in early 1968 to work as a volunteer on an Oxfam funded village development program, which was working with Gandhian ashrams in Bihar following the very severe famine of 1966 and 67. So with my background in agriculture and animal husbandry, I had been working in the villages for 3 years when the whole crisis in what was then East Pakistan started boiling over, particularly following the cyclone of November 1970, and we were receiving reports then about the tremendous devastation, and also receiving reports that the Pakistan authorities hadn't reacted to the relief needs of the affected population affected by the cyclone. And as a Bengali neighbor of mine in Bihar said, "Oh well, they don't care, they don't mind, the Punjabis don't mind if the Bengalis die." So later on we learnt about the unrest in Dhaka and in East Pakistan as a whole, particularly after the very now famous speech of Sheikh Mujib on March the 7th, 1971, which was basically a call for that unless East Pakistan got some significant autonomy, then there would be a struggle for independence. Very soon after that, of course, the Operation Searchlight started in Dhaka and other particularly urban centres in Bangladesh, and within a few days of March the 25th, we had reports of thousands of Bangladeshis coming across the border into India. Oxfam had some projects in the border areas, like mission hospitals or other projects, and they were sending telegrams to Oxfam that 10,000 or 20,000 refugees had come across a particular border crossing in one day. And Oxfam in the head office in UK were convinced that the telegram operator had added an extra zero by mistake, so that they thought that perhaps 3,000 were coming across, not 30,000. So we were asked to go to the border areas, to go to Kolkata and then to other border areas to double check what was being reported through the media, although foreign correspondents hadn't really got there at that time, but the reports from NGOs, and we were able to verify that indeed, for instance, at the what is well known crossing of Benapole Bongaon, we definitely were there when more than 30,000 people came across. We worked very closely with the Gandhian organizations, and they supplied a lot of volunteers in the refugee camps to organize the refugees, meaning the sanitation, the food distribution, keeping the camps clean, that sort of thing, and also we were able to work with the Calcutta medical colleges that supplied final year medical students and interns, supervised by fully qualified lecturers or professors. They would go on a rotation basis to the camps that could be reached from Calcutta. Eventually we had hundreds of students coming on a rotational basis, 1 month at a time, coming from Bombay and places like that, or Gujarat. And I sometimes joked that I was running a travel agency because I was booking or asking to get booked lots of 3-tier sleeper berths going to Bombay. But that was an amazing program. Yeah, by the beginning of November, when we were already very worried about getting supplies of blankets and warm clothing, it was estimated that just over 9 million refugees were in all the refugee camps. So that is a remarkable number for any government to take care of. And of course the government of India were looking after the basic rations of all the refugees. For many years after 1971, I was not able to talk about my experiences. It was too painful to recall, and somehow I blocked everything and bottled it up. And but the day-to-day experiences in an average refugee camp were extremely difficult because of particularly the health of children, and that's what one remembers and regrets, that we couldn't have done more to save so many children's lives. I cannot forget seeing 20 small children trying to fight over one boiled egg or a few chapatis, and then the children, because of their weakness, falling over in the mud and almost choking to death in the muddy water. So at one time we were saying that as winter approached, that it was estimated that as many as a few 100,000 children would die, not just because of malnutrition, but because of the extreme cold in many of the refugee camps.